there may be some that were not here in the previous meetings, and I'd like to share with you the thoughts of the chamber in determining the format for tonight. The format will be that we'll have 4 speakers. Each one of them will present their presentation.
Present group of immigrants is not isolated from the experience of brothers and sisters throughout the ages in different cultures, and it's important to keep that in mind. So that would be statement number 2. Statement number 3, the variables involved are basically the same. So when we look at all these migratory experiences, all the components, all the elements are part of the phenomenon we're trying to explain. Although the specific circumstances, time periods, and people vary from context to context. The reasons compelling them to immigrate, the challenges faced by immigrants once they arrive into the new home and struggle to integrate, and the ways in which the inhabitants of the host land, quote unquote, and the newcomers interact with each other are qualitatively the same. So that's the premise upon which I'm basing my observations tonight. So the variables involved are basically the same. Point number 4. Migrations, my dear friends, are multifaceted, diverse, and complex phenomena. If that is true, we cannot approach the present issue of immigration with a law enforcement only approach. Okay?
Sure we can.
It's one of the variables. It's one of the pieces of so many. If this statement is false, we would have to demonstrate that it's false. But if that is true, that means that if migrations are multifaceted, diverse, and complex, the solutions need to be multi-layered. Point number 5. Of course, since we're different, we have different ways of looking at social phenomena, there are different perspectives, there are different angles, there are different ways in which you can look and should look at anything that happens in our midst. So that would be statement number 5. Statement number 6, because there are different ways of looking at reality as migration issue, all voices need to be heard instead of repressing them. I think that if we take an example from psychology, psychologists tell us constantly that when we have issues, feelings that get in the way with respect to evil or problems, it's not healthy to repress the opposite. So there
Our next speaker is Chief Deputy Sheriff Linda Coker. She has a bachelor's degree from Florida State University and a master's in education from Georgia State University. She is also a graduate of the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy. Chief Deputy Coker serves Cobb County Sheriff's Department at 19 and 86. She is currently a member of the U.S. Marshals Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force, the Cobb County Domestic Violence Task Force, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council of Atlanta Metropolitan, among many other organizations that she is a part of. She will come now and speak to us.
Thank you to Dr. Martinez, and my remarks are going to be, his are philosophical and spiritual and come from that background. Unfortunately, my remarks are going to have to come from, I raise my right hand to enforce the law of the to tell the chamber in Bartow County, I commend you for opening the debate and having an opportunity to debate this issue that may be affecting your county, that has reached some situations in Cobb County that we've had to take some actions in order to hopefully objectively and fairly deal with the issues. We were told before we started talking tonight that we were going to talk the facts only, and the facts, ma'am, and those of us in public safety and law enforcement investigators always want to hope we're only talking the facts and that we're not talking opinions and feelings. And I'm going to share with you some facts tonight. You can find these on the website of cobbsheriff.org. It's under News, and it is basically our response to the 287G program. And I want to tell you that this is a partnership, and there's a lot of misunderstanding and unfortunately sometimes some miscommunication in reference to this. But the Cobb County Sheriff's Office partners not only with the Homeland Security, the Federal Homeland Security Department, which has a subunit of Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, of which we partner with, which is called ICE. We also partner with DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States. And we also partner with the U.S. Marshal Service, which makes an attempt to apprehend those fugitives that move from metro area to metro area and create a enormously critical crime-ridden areas in our inner city. So this is not unique to us in the Cobb County Sheriff's Office to partner with a federal agency. The 287G program, which it is referred to on occasion, was an act passed by Congress in 1996. It was designed to enhance the cooperation and communication with federal enforcement officers, state and local law enforcement officers. After 9/11 and right before 9/11, there were a lot of committees, both nationwide. How do we deal with terroristic threats in our country? And the one issue that came out, I served on a committee out of Washington, the one issue that came out is that all law enforcement must communicate, both at the local, the state, and the federal agency if we're going to make our country safe. So this is just the 287G program was developed for that purpose. Even in 1996, before 9/11, it was an attempt to have local, federal, and state law enforcement communicating. 287G is basically an investigative tool that trains and authorizes personnel to assist the federal authorities in the deportation process. Now I'm going to give you some direct quotes from Sheriff Warren so that I won't get them wrong, because we were told to, and some of you may like them, some of you may not. But Sheriff Warren said, and we've been looking at this issue for 2 to 3 years. So it's been an evolution process. We applied for the 287G almost 2 years ago. And Sheriff Warren said early on, he was the first sheriff in the state of Georgia to implement the 287G program. And I have to say, in defense of other sheriffs that haven't, it's not a right, wrong, or it's right for your community, or wrong for your community, or is it labor intensive? Do you have the funding? All of those are issues that every community has to deal with in their own way. So it can't be said that it's right for us and wrong for you, or right for us. It has to be what the community feels is important at that time. And Sheriff Warren has always said that immigration is a federal issue. However, when illegal aliens, and you can call them undocumented or illegal or whatever, and I'll get to the point of how it comes to us on that in just a moment, come into our community and commit a crime, that it becomes a local issue. It is his duty, and those of us that he deputizes, and responsibility to enforce the laws of this state. He also said it is important to know who comes into our custody and who he is releasing back into the community. This particular investigative tool assists us in that endeavor. We want to reiterate, and we want to say it very, very clearly, because we've been accused of this, and please let me tell you, we are not targeting any one group of individuals. If we are targeting a group of individuals, it is those people in our community that are committing crimes. They are already in the custody of the Cobb County Jail. If someone here is here illegally and commits a crime, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, Sheriff Warren feels they should be subject to deportation. Now, let me say one other little thing, because it's misunderstanding and it's hard for people to understand. There's 2 different crimes that you can be in custody for, 2 different types of